Hi, and welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm your host, Marlo Layson, and today I have a very special guest, Miss Jerry Bowen. She's the Executive Director of the Northwest Louisiana Family Justice Center. They have a very, very difficult and important task from the community, which is assisting families that are affected by domestic violence. She's going to explain what they're doing and how you can help them in the great work that they're doing every single day in our community. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
So, tell me a little bit about the Family Justice Center, what you all do, and where you're located.
Currently, we are the Resource and Referral Center for Northwest Louisiana for domestic violence victims. We are currently located on Doctor's Drive in Bossier near the interstate and the bus line so that we can serve Caddo, Webster, Bossier, DeSoto, and the surrounding parishes. We've been there about 9.5 years, and we assist with protective orders. We have law enforcement in our office. We have some BYJ employees in our office, and we work with families to safety plan or to get with PCI and get into the safe house or other community resources that are out there that they may need when they're in time of emergency.
Now, I know that a big topic amongst the Supreme Court and local law enforcement and the CATOD as well is the process of protective orders. Can we talk a little bit about what that process is currently like and how it can be changed or improved to kind of streamline it, make it shorter, and give people a little bit more assurance and understanding of that protective order process?
Absolutely, it is. Our protective order is near 17 pages, legal pages
Oh,
long.
wow.
It takes a good hour for someone to fill it out. Not to mention just the difficulty and complexity of it. You can hand them the instructions with it, but that's overwhelming. They're already in a time of urgency and trauma or fear. And so we are there to help them do it. What we are working on with many other agencies right now in the Louisiana Supreme Court and the LPOR, the Louisiana Protective Order Registry, is to get it shortened, to get it streamlined to where if someone can't get to our office or they can't get to one of the courthouses for help, if they have the access to get online and complete one themselves, it's not so inferior. It's not so difficult. Many states, I think it's Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, theirs are 5 pages or
Oh,
less,
wow.
and it's just a totally different ball game. And a lot of it's just repetitiveness that I think could be cleaned up,
Mhm.
and it'll just help when those people are in need. But until it is clear or until it is worked through, we are there to go through the entire process with them and help them complete them.
And what's needed if someone comes to you for a protective order? Do they need to already have police work or a report from police of an incident? Like, what does a person need?
Well, a police report always helps, but a lot of people do not report to law enforcement. So we tell them your story, your narrative, what you're going to put in this part of the protective order for the most recent incident and past incidents is going to be vital for you to express your fear and concern and what you've been through. We do ask that when they come, they have an ID because the court's going to require an ID. They must have an address. That's a difficult one for a lot of people to understand. Sometimes their abuser has fled, sometimes they're hiding. So without an address, your sheriff's department cannot make the service that they need, and a protective order is not valid unless it has been served upon the individual. So without an address or a place of employment, very limited, very limited.
One of my things that I do and I share with guests all the time is I'm a comment reader on social media. And when it was announced that they were working through the process for the protective orders, I noticed that someone in the comments section was saying basically a protective order is encouraging more violence. Do you think that that sort of thought is what deters victims from coming forward and seeking the help and the justice that they need?
I do think when people hear that, that does deter them. I do think that can happen. I will say it's, to me, if I've had to see it over the last 10 years, 2 out of 10. Most people are going to respect when that judge signs it, that sheriff's deputy goes out and serves them. They're going to put on their best behavior until that court date, or at least I hope. You do have those one or two that fall through the cracks, or that their behavior is out of control, or they're just a batterer, or their anger management's not there. That there's not a piece of paper or a law enforcement officer that can stop them. We just have those that unfortunately our first responders have to deal with.
And domestic violence is one of those things that's kind of like a cyclical type of violence, right? It manifests itself in a home, and then children pick up that behavior either as abusers or victims. Are there any resources that could help young people? Do you all deal, I guess, with young people?
We deal mainly with 18 and up, but our partner agencies such as Project Celebration, other community agencies, juvenile court, the jails and those facilities have programs that go in, and they go to the schools and train, have classes with the children, or we have community fairs with other agencies such as Goodwill and some other local programs, some of the churches, some of the libraries, and we put the information out there and try to talk with the children. And PCI is really good about going into the schools and talking about the cyclical violence, how it is not just because you see it doesn't mean you need to do it, and helping us try to combat it before it gets to adulthood.
How should the general public or the community at large address these issues? Like, how should we speak to young people about things like this, especially when it shows up in people that they know and trust?
Right. And unfortunately, that's just a sad, situation. All of them are. But we just need to encourage them that it's never, they should always tell. If they see something. That doesn't mean they have to tell the media. That doesn't mean they have to tell law enforcement. They need to just tell an adult that they're trusting, a counselor at the school, an educator maybe. We put things in a lot of doctors' offices and medical offices so that they can tell. There's even a program that's out there that a lot of people don't know about with pharmacies, that if you can slide a note to your pharmacist, because it's an indiscreet place where you're picking up something private, and just say, this is what I know, and they can report. There's a lot of little secrets out there that it just takes learning them or promoting them to let people know, because a lot of times it's a neighbor, and people are in fear to confront them, or it is an embarrassment. But if you can just start putting a little hints out there, I think it's easier for the word to get out, and maybe it to become a watched situation.
And I think another issue, people often, in addition to the shame, people have misconceptions. Could you talk about where domestic violence occurs? I think that people think that it's isolated to certain communities. What types of people have you worked with in terms of victims of domestic violence?
We have worked with all types. It goes from one end of the socioeconomic spectrum to the other. It goes across the board, not just hetero relationships, it's same-sex relationships. It's in the trans world. It is, it picks no one. I mean, unfortunately, you see it in professionals, you see it in poverty, you see it in law enforcement, and like you said, it is cyclical. And when we say cyclical, it is a learned behavior. They've seen it. They're choosing to do this. We do not work, because we work for the DA and law enforcement. We do not work with the batterer, but there are programs out there that can, and they're not just little simple online programs. I know we want our judges to push those batterer intervention programs that are 26 and 28 weeks long. They didn't learn this overnight. They're not going to get out of it overnight.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think that's great. I think that we never really hear much about the batterer, and not that they are the victim in the situation, but potentially they are. Maybe it's because of the way that their household was run as children, or the relationships that they saw growing up. And I think that that's very interesting, that they also, there are offerings to get them help and to kind of correct this behavior as well. I noticed, or I saw a news story about a lady in another state who signaled police with hand signals. Is that something that you all teach here or
That's a
utilize?
new one. I'm not familiar with the hand signals, but I will do some research because that may be one of the up and coming um, things that's out there that can discreetly let someone know what is going on, just like the other programs.
Speaking of up and coming, the Cattle District Attorney, Mr. James Stewart, announced that they are planning to make space for the Family Justice Center to have another office. You currently are in Bossier Parish,
Correct.
and they are looking at possibly bringing you all into a satellite office that would be down the street from our studio at the North Market Street substation. Is that something that is currently in the works, and what does that look like for you all in terms of staffing and funding? And I know all those things are important.
That's a great question. Thank you. We are excited about that. We know it will be so super helpful. It will be there during the day hours. We are not an around the clock hour. But in the day hours, and we talked about in the beginning to have some set office hours or part-time in there until it's, uh, Scott making its way. But right now, we're looking at a lot of funding. We're funded through the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement, and it runs through the Bossier District Attorney, but he gladly services the other parishes. But we've got to find some funding for staff. We're a 2.5 employee office.
Wow.
There's only myself, another full-time, and one part-time employee. We're very small, and budgets have been just slashed and slashed and slashed over the last several years since inception. And so we're down to just a small budget. So right now we're talking about just maybe set office hours or by appointment only, or when that officer brings someone in, if they need to call us, we can be there in just a few minutes across the bridge. But hopefully we're going to get the support we need and be able to get someone in there full time and have right there off North Market on the bus line, and be able to assist where we can. We've just got to we fundraise a lot, and
Yes.
we need that support.
In terms of fundraisers, how can people get in touch with you all? Do you all take private donations? Is it only through your own fundraising efforts? How can people support the
Oh,
efforts?
yes. We take private donations. Our website, www.nwlafamilyjusticecenter.org. We're currently hosting a wonderful raffle for the month of DV awareness for October. We're going to draw on Friday the 31st. Lots of great prizes. Our friends at Cosmatis and Bond just put in a wonderful David Yearman bracelet. We have
Oh, lovely.
our friend Chris Turner gave a bottle of bourbon that's $1,200. Our Sears ladies gave a 65-inch TV. I mean, just
Awesome.
great things. And we are selling raffle tickets, and we take Venmo. You can call our office, you can mail checks, and we'll see that your tickets get in the hopper. So.
Fantastic. So you still have time. We still have about a week of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so go ahead and support the Family Justice Center in their efforts, because domestic violence in this community is very prevalent. There is, and I, working in the news, like you said, I've seen every spectrum. I've seen every type of relationship implicated in domestic violence through our communications with police, and so it is something that we need to correct course on. In terms of living in this community and keeping everyone safe and helping children thrive, right? Because I think people don't realize the amount of stress that domestic violence puts on young children, and the amount of guilt that they feel about what's happening, and the worry and the concern. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jerry, for being here today. This has been an eye-opening conversation, and I know that this isn't your favorite thing to do, but you did amazing. And anytime you want to come back, please reach out, because we would love to have you and help you continue pushing your messaging to help families that are suffering through this domestic violence.
KTL for doing it in our community.
Absolutely. And you have time out there in the general public to help victims of domestic violence. Right now, the Cattle District Attorney is working their Purple Box Drive, where you can donate items or put together your own beautiful purple box. We had ADA Brittany Green on this morning, and members of the Cattle DA's office talking about the purple boxes, and that's an initiative that they are collecting for all year round. So do what you can to support people in your community, because that's what makes us great.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.